Alright guys, so today is the day we derive the quadratic formula by completing the square. So I don't know if you're excited, but I'm excited. So let's get started. So first things first in completing the square. Well, before that, there's another thing. So when we derive the quadratic formula, we're going to make the assumption, or we're going to kind of enforce that the quadratic needs to be in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. Alright, and that's all equal to 0. Like what we've done with the actual quadratic formula when we use it, right? So when we use a quadratic formula, the quadratic always has to be in this form. So that's the form we're gonna assume when we derive the quadratic formula. So alright, first things first. We know how to complete the square, but we don't know how to complete the square when the leading coefficient is like not 1, right? Because this is an a. We don't know if a is 1 or a is 17 or a is 3,331, right? So we're gonna want to make the leading coefficient equal to 1, and to do that, I'm gonna divide both sides by a, right? So upon doing that, I'm gonna get x squared plus b over ax plus c over a. That's gonna be still equal to 0 because 0 divided by a is 0, right? Now we're ready to complete the square. So this c over a is our current constant, but we're not sure that it's our magic constant. We don't know, really, whether b's and a's and b's and c's and all that, right? We don't know if this is factorable, let alone a perfect square. So we can't say this is our magic constant and that this is a perfect square, right? So we're going to need to make way for a new magic constant. So to do that, we're going to just bring c over a to this side, right? So I'm just subtract by c over a on both sides. So get x squared plus b over ax is equal to negative c over a, right? And now we're going to add in our magic constant that guarantees the left side to be a perfect square. So we're going to add in our middle term divided by 2, all that squared. So we're really going to be adding in x squared. Okay, so I got my x squared plus b over ax, right? Now I'm going to be adding in our middle term divided by 2, so b over 2a, right? Because b over a divided by 2, that's b over 2a, right? Squared. And when we do to one side, we do to the other side, right? So we get negative c over a plus b over 2a squared, right? So we do that, and we know that our left side is a perfect square. So we can rewrite it like this. Because remember, completing the square video. If you haven't seen that, then go check it out. So we can rewrite the left-hand side like this. B over 2a squared, right? Middle term divided by 2, that's what's right here, and then square all that, yeah. Now for our right-hand side, I think I'm gonna pull a big brain move. I'm gonna simplify this real quick, because I don't want to keep writing. I don't want to keep adding fractions and stuff. So let's see here. So I'm gonna simplify this first, right? So first I have negative c over a plus b squared over 4a squared, right? Distribute the exponent. Now for this fraction, I'm gonna multiply the top and bottom by 4a to get a common denominator. So I'll get negative 4ac over 4a squared plus v squared over 4a squared, right? Do a little simplification. We get b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. Okay. And now I'll just plug that right here. So b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. Now it's pretty simple, guys. We can just take the square root of both sides. So we get x plus b over 2a, the absolute values, of course, is equal to the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 4a squared, right? Now we can bring the square root to the numerator and the denominator, right? So we could rewrite this as square root of b squared minus 4ac, right? So to the numerator and the square root of the denominator. Now look, the square root of the denominator, well, the denominator is a perfect square, right? So taking the square root of that, we'll get 2a, all right? So we'll break down the absolute value bars now. We'll get x plus b over 2a. Do a plus or minus business, right? It's plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And look at that, denominator here is also 2a, so we can just do a subtraction, right? We'll subtract b over 2a right, from both sides. So you get x is equal to plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, oh, I'm kind of running out of space here, over 2a minus b over 2a. I think you all can read that. Now we can do a little rearrangement and stuff, and we got a common denominator here, so we can just add the numerators together. So we'll get our final answer that x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. In other words, the quadratic formula. So guys, if you forget the quadratic formula during our test, I mean, you can just do a quick derivation on your test. Not saying that you should, which is why you should remember the quadratic formula. But derivation is really not that bad, just completing the square, and it's pretty cool. So I'll see you in future videos, so stay tuned for that. We'll do more cool stuff.